In the pitch-black night, someone strikes a match and throws it at a house. The flame catches quickly, spreading across the walls as a baby's wailing echoes from inside. The scene then shifts to Caitlin, a real estate lawyer in Los Angeles, who is currently handling a pro bono case for a woman named Polly. Polly explains that she used to work as a nanny until the family she worked for moved away. Now, her landlord has suddenly raised her rent, claiming it's due to inflation. Caitlin assures her that she'll take care of it. Curious, Polly asks why Caitlin is working despite being pregnant. Caitlin just smiles and brushes it off. After their meeting, Caitlin gets into her car and, while on the phone with a colleague, suddenly goes into labor. Soon after, Caitlin gives birth to her daughter, Josie. One day, Caitlin's older daughter, Emma, asks her why the animals in video games aren't real. Caitlin says she doesn't know while transferring Josie to her car seat, but the stroller accidentally rolls into the street and gets bumped by a car. Caitlin scolds the driver, telling her to drive carefully since there are children around. The woman curses at her, calling her a dumb bitch. Just then, Caitlin's husband, Miguel, comes out of the house. Caitlin tells him what happened and suggests they should get a stop sign installed on their street. Miguel shrugs it off. People don't stop in LA, he says. Later, at the farmer's market, Caitlin runs into Polly. She asks about the rent issue. Polly says the landlord hasn't backed down, but she's managing. Miguel joins them, and Caitlin introduces him. Then Emma interrupts, saying she wants to go. Sensing Caitlin's stress, Polly offers to babysit the girls, reminding her that she used to be a nanny before. Caitlin gratefully says, "That would be amazing. I'll check with my husband first." Then she asks for Polly's number. That evening, she tells Miguel that Polly used to work as a nanny and that she's thinking of hiring her to babysit the kids. Miguel agrees, saying it might be good for Caitlin to have some help. That night, Caitlin calls the reference number Polly gave her for the family she nannied. A woman named Rosanna answers, praising Polly's kindness and her natural way with children. Feeling reassured, Caitlin decides to hire Polly. She shows her around the house, explaining how to prepare the baby bottles and pointing out her breast milk supplements. Polly casually asks, "No formula?" Caitlin replies, "That stuff is just sugar." "I don't give it to Josie." While Polly takes care of Josie, Caitlin goes upstairs to wash her face and take her antidepressants. Later that evening, as Polly is about to leave, Caitlin invites her to stay for dinner, and she agrees. During dinner, Caitlin and Emma get into a heated argument. Polly gently suggests that she give Emma some space. Caitlin sighs and wistfully says, "Emma's always been willful, even as a baby." The moment I put her down, she'd start screaming. Polly's phone buzzes, and Caitlin says, "You know what? Don't let me keep you." But Polly explains that it's just a girl she's been talking to. Smiling, Caitlin asks if she likes her. Polly shrugs and says that she's not sure yet. Caitlin reveals that she dated a woman before Miguel. Trying to change the subject, Caitlin remarks, "This dress doesn't really suit me." Polly replies, "I like it." Caitlin smiles and says she can have it. While Caitlin looks for scissors to cut off the tag, Polly notices the pill bottle on the counter. The next morning, Miguel wakes Caitlin with a kiss, but she says she's not in the mood. Then she asks him to take Emma to her basketball game since she has a community meeting about installing a stop sign. Miguel tells her he has a meeting with builders about one of his designs. So Caitlin asks Polly to take Emma instead. After the game, Polly surprises Emma with cupcakes and makes her promise not to tell her parents. Emma agrees. Polly then feeds some of the frosting to baby Josie. Emma frowns and says, "That's too much sugar." Polly smiles and replies, "It's not that bad." Curious, Emma asks if Polly's mom let her eat sugar when she was young. With a wistful look, Polly says, "She did. My mom used to make the best cupcakes. But she died when I was little. After that, I had to live somewhere where I ate tuna straight from the can, like a cat."
Nope.
Back home, Polly plays with Josie while Miguel watches them. That afternoon, Caitlin prepares dinner for her best friend and colleague, Stuart, and his girlfriend, Bethany. Miguel joins her in the kitchen, eyeing her skeptically, but Caitlin reassures him that she can cook. Moments later, Polly slips in, quietly pours something into the sauce, and warns Caitlin that it's starting to burn. That night, during dinner, Caitlin and Stuart discuss the importance of having a stop sign in the streets. Stuart then asks Polly where she's from, and she replies, Boyle Heights. Why so far? Stuart asks. Polly admits, that's where I can afford to live.
Oh, I get you.
Then she asks him the same question. He replies, Silver Lake. Oh, I get ya, Polly says. Then she adds that she's planning to move out of LA because it's too expensive. Soon after, Emma says she's finished eating, and Polly goes along to hang out with her for a bit. The next morning, Caitlin wakes up feeling nauseous and throws up. Soon, the entire household suffers from food poisoning, except Polly, who didn't touch the sauce last night. The children are admitted to the hospital. Caitlin confesses to Polly that she feels like she can't do anything right, no matter how hard she tries. Polly reassures her, saying that sometimes things happen that are beyond anyone's control. The next day, the children are discharged. Later, Caitlin asks Miguel if it's a good idea to have Polly stay with them. He nods. It could help, he says. After having Emma, you spiraled a bit, and having Polly around might make things easier. The following day, Caitlin shows Polly the guest quarters, a tiny space with a bed, kitchenette, and bathroom. She explains that Miguel had wanted his parents to move from Mexico, but they weren't the biggest fans of the States. Later, Miguel video calls his parents and introduces Polly as their new nanny. An hour later, Miguel and Caitlin take Emma to school. Back inside, Polly doesn't pick up Josie, even as the baby cries loudly. That night, Caitlin swims in the pool and Polly joins her, startling Caitlin. Polly apologizes and asks if she can put Emma to bed since it's 8:30. Caitlin notices tension in her neck, and Polly offers to help. Using a simple technique, Polly relieves Caitlin's stiffness. The next day, while Miguel is making a baby chair for Josie, Caitlin notices a formula container in the trash. She decides to confront Polly, who is playing with Emma. Polly admits that she gave Josie the baby formula because she was struggling to feed her breast milk. Caitlin, appalled, reminds her that she explicitly told her not to give formula because of the sugar. Polly, clueless, says, "We never had that conversation," and adds that she can stop giving formula if that's what she wants. The incident leaves Caitlin questioning herself. Later, after a jog, she returns home to find Miguel chatting with Polly and another woman. Polly introduces her friend Amelia. They invite Caitlin to join them, but she politely declines. That night, Caitlin feels a strain in her neck and decides to ask Polly for help. However, she finds Polly and Amelia together in a private moment, leaving Caitlin confused about her feelings. The next day, Polly cuts Emma's hair. Curious, she asks Polly, "Who is Olivia?" Polly explains, "She is my little sister." At that moment, Caitlin comes out for her coffee and notices her hand shaking. Later, at the park, Emma asks Polly about depression. Polly explains that it means feeling sad and hating oneself. Emma asks, "Like my mom?" Polly replies no and adds that her mother isn't depressed but angry because she's pretending to be someone she's not.
Who is she?
Meanwhile, Caitlin calls her doctor and mentions that she has been on edge lately. The doctor advises her to take half her usual dosage. Just then, Caitlin accidentally cuts her finger, intensifying her stress. That afternoon, Emma tells her parents that when she grows up, she wants a wife instead of a husband, not like the husbands and wives she's seen on TV. Caitlin, furious, turns to Polly. Polly admits that Emma had asked her about different types of couples and marriages, and she simply explained it to her. Caitlin points out to Miguel that Emma has never said anything like this before. Polly interjects, but Caitlin tells her to shut up. Upset, Emma storms off to her room. Still unsettled, Caitlin struggles to understand Emma's behavior. Miguel reminds her that Emma is already 10 and asks Caitlin when she first realized she is bisexual, but Caitlin brushes it off, saying it has nothing to do with her. Eventually, Miguel convinces Caitlin to accept that Emma is growing up and that she needs to let her be. Then, Caitlin starts kissing Miguel, mimicking the way she had seen Polly pleasure Amelia. Meanwhile, Polly is restocking Caitlin's antidepressant pills with some other pills, which is something she's been doing for some time. The family heads to the park for the New Year's Eve festival to watch the fireworks. After returning home, Caitlin prepares dinner and notices Polly wearing the dress she had given her. Suddenly, they hear Emma screaming. Crackers are going off and they rush upstairs. Caitlin yells at her to tell the truth about where she got the crackers. Polly apologizes, admitting she was the one who bought them for Emma at the park. Caitlin, believing it was intentional, lashes out at Polly. Miguel tries to calm her down, but Caitlin refuses to back off and demands Polly leave, even though Emma insists it was her own mistake. Later, Miguel tells Caitlin she was too harsh on Polly. After all, Polly only bought the crackers to make Emma happy, and couldn't have known she'd start lighting them inside. He gently reminds Caitlin that she's spiraling again, and says he can't help her if she isn't willing to consider that she might be wrong. After getting the name of the motel where Polly is staying from Miguel, Caitlin heads there. She apologizes to Polly, revealing that she's had past issues that sometimes make her spiral. Polly hugs her. The next day, the stop sign is finally erected. Caitlin fills Stuart in on what has been happening in her life. Stuart suggests looking into Polly's background. Caitlin, however, defends Polly, saying she seems fine now. Stuart insists it doesn't hurt to double-check. Later, Polly returns to her room to find Stuart there. She immediately tells him that this is her private space and asks him to leave. Stuart returns home, where he digs through Polly's trash, collects DNA from a used tampon in a can, and conducts a DNA test using a kit. Meanwhile, Caitlin calls Rosanna again, but it goes to voicemail. Miguel tells her the breast milk is finished, and Caitlin says she'll be with him shortly. Then she searches for Rosanna's number online and clicks the first link. Caitlin heads to the recreation center and calls Rosanna. A woman takes out her phone but doesn't answer. Caitlin goes inside and asks the woman if she is Rosanna. The woman confirms that she is, and Caitlin immediately asks about Polly. Concerned, Rosanna asks if Polly is all right, admitting that Polly hasn't been answering her calls. Caitlin explains that Polly has been involved in some dangerous incidents with her children. Rosanna mentions that Polly's behavior could be erratic if she's using again. As she listens, Caitlin begins to piece things together. Rosanna runs AA meeting, that's where she met Polly, and she's lying about Polly taking care of her kids. Rosanna defends Polly, saying she's been through a lot, including living in a car and experiencing abuse from her boyfriend. Caitlin scoffs, believing it's all lies. Meanwhile, Stuart leaves Caitlin a voicemail asking her to call him ASAP. Back at home, Caitlin tells Miguel about Polly's lies, but Miguel is angry that she left the baby hungry while trying to figure out what Polly was hiding. Later, Stuart contacts Polly, and an hour later she arrives at his doorstep. He reveals that he knows her real name is Rebecca. Polly says, "So you went through my things," and he confirms it. Stuart then talks about how Polly grew up in San Bernardino, the same as Caitlin, whose real name was Jennifer, and how Polly's family died in a fire when she was 7, and Caitlin is sent away after that incident. Polly insists that Caitlin killed her parents, but Stuart interrupts, saying something happened to Caitlin before the fire. Stuart tells Polly that he hasn't revealed the truth to Caitlin yet and urges her to come clean with Caitlin, or he will do it himself. Polly excuses herself to the restroom, and moments later she strikes and kills him, taking the evidence with her. Hours later, Caitlin receives a call from Bethany, who tells her that Stuart has been attacked during a break-in. Caitlin rushes to the hospital and tells an officer that Stuart had been investigating Polly and that she might be involved. The officer replies that he's not in charge of the case, leaving Caitlin frustrated.
Listen to me. Ma'am, please lower your voice. Thank you.
Caitlin heads home and orders Polly to leave immediately. When Polly doesn't get up, Caitlin goes to her room and starts packing her clothes. She then spots Emma with Polly and lunges at her, and in the ensuing struggle, Caitlin accidentally hits Emma. A week later, Caitlin is on the phone with her lawyer. She reassures Caitlin that it was the right decision to move out. The lawyer points out that Polly will remain in the house, as Miguel still needs help with the kids. Caitlin insists on seeing her children, and the lawyer says she will make arrangements. Then Caitlin notices that the tablet she's been taking isn't what she usually uses. After researching it online, she discovers that the pill is designed to make people anxious and on edge. The next day, Caitlin visits Emma at her basketball game. She admits to her daughter that she knows she's been too hard on her and watching her too closely, but explains it's because nobody has looked out for her. Emma then shows Caitlin a newspaper clipping she found in Polly's room.
Can we go now?
Caitlin suddenly understands that Polly's true purpose is to exact revenge on her. Emma says the little girl in the photo is Polly, even though her name is different. She tells her mother that Polly was an orphan, which is why she tried so hard to become part of their family. Emma then asks her mother to come back home. Caitlin heads home and addresses Polly as Rebecca. She apologizes and asks how Polly knew she was the one who started the fire. Polly tells her that she saw her. With a sigh, Caitlin admits that Polly's father had tried to get intimate with her. She had reported it to the school and her father, but no one believed her, so she had to take matters into her own hands. Trembling, Caitlin adds, "He also did that to you, didn't he?" "He told me." Polly denies it, claiming Caitlin is lying, and attacks her. Caitlin struggles, but she manages to break free, grabbing Josie and rushing to her car. Polly then emerges with a hammer, trying to smash the glass. At that moment, Emma and Miguel arrive. Caitlin reacts quickly and drives off, throwing Polly off and causing her to die. Shaken, she gives Josie to Miguel and mourns Polly's death. Even after Polly's death, her presence lingers when Emma shares with Josie the story of Polly eating tuna like a cat, mimicking her gestures and style.